No one expected this. What looked like a quiet partnership between Honda and Aston Martin might actually shake up the Formula One world in ways we didn't see coming. While many thought Honda would stay behind the scenes, recent actions suggest they're taking a far more hands-on role. Combine that with their previous success with Red Bull and some very telling comments from Adrian Newey, and things start to look very interesting. Could we see Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen wearing the same colors in 2026? It sounds wild, but it's not impossible. If that's going to happen, Lawrence Stroll will have some big decisions to make. Honda isn't just another engine supplier, they're a key player who could tip the scales. And with the upcoming regulation changes, their role becomes even more critical. They're not just bringing power units, they're aiming to shape the future of the team itself. While there's still a chance Alonso might call it a day after 2026, signs are pointing toward a possible twist. Honda, alongside Adrian Newey, seems to be working on something bigger, something that could bring both Verstappen and Alonso under the same banner. Aston Martin's growing interest in Verstappen hasn't exactly been a secret. Over the last few months, their actions and strategy hint at a shift happening within the team, something that could tempt Max to consider a new challenge. Even Helmut Marko has mentioned that Aston Martin's transformation is strong enough to turn Max's head. The real question now is whether the four-time champion would accept such a challenge. Honda, for one, isn't backing off. They've made it clear that if there's any chance to work with Max again, they're going to take it. With their new long-term deal with Aston Martin, this might be their only real shot. Koji Watanabe, Honda's president, recently made a bold statement. He mentioned that while Aston Martin will ultimately decide who sits in the driver's seat, Honda plans to be actively involved in those decisions. He even compared it to their time with Red Bull, where Honda had a significant say in the lineup, hinting that without their support, Yuki Tsunoda might not have remained in Formula One. Even after their formal tie-up with Red Bull ended, Honda's influence was still felt, especially when Yuki was promoted. So now, with this new partnership, it's pretty clear they won't be passive observers. Their focus seems set, bringing Max Verstappen into the fold. And they're not alone. Adrian Newey, someone whose voice carries serious weight, has reportedly expressed concerns about Lance Stroll's performance, raising doubts about whether he can push the next-generation car to its full potential. Inside sources from Aston Martin have revealed that a private discussion took place between Adrian Newey and Lawrence Stroll. During this meeting, Newey reportedly stated that Lance might not be the right person to get the most out of the car they're developing. And even though the 2025 season started with Lance scoring all of the team's points, 10 across 3 races, that doesn't erase his struggles from the past seasons. The truth is, if Aston Martin wants to move forward and truly challenge at the top, they might need to consider a bold move, keeping Alonso and bringing in Verstappen. Sure, Alonso has mentioned retiring if something better isn't offered, but his presence and feedback are vital. Without him guiding development, the team might lose its direction. This is where Verstappen becomes more than just an option. He turns into a necessity if Aston Martin is serious about making a mark. When asked about the possibility of working with Max again, Watanabe didn't hold back. He shared that Honda would truly welcome another chance to collaborate with Verstappen. According to him, Max has always shown appreciation for Honda's work ethic and mindset. He communicates clearly with the engineers, which builds trust and earns respect. Many on the technical side have become genuine supporters of Max because of how he interacts with them. So it's not just about talent behind the wheel, it's also about the way he carries himself in the garage. That kind of connection is rare. And now, with a 4-time champion like Alonso possibly backing this setup, the pieces might just fall into place. Honda's interest is more than just admiration. It's strategic. And if Verstappen decides to move, it could redefine how teams approach the driver-manufacturer relationship in the years to come. Verstappen himself has reflected on his time with Honda, saying that before their partnership began, Red Bull was already strong, but no one could have predicted the heights they'd reach together. 4 championships later, the bond between them goes beyond just results. Max has said it's not just about the trophies, but the journey they took together and everything they accomplished along the way. Though they're now going their separate ways for the time being, he left the door open, saying he's still young and anything can happen in the future. Meanwhile, Red Bull faces a tough task, building a car that can consistently compete at the front while keeping Max interested. Even with a car that isn't always the fastest, he's still right near the top of the standings, just a point behind Norris after the first 3 rounds of 2025. But questions are starting to form. Is Red Bull still on the right path? And can Aston Martin really offer something better? Aston Martin is at a crossroads. While Lance Stroll's recent performance has been solid, scoring all the points for the team so far in 2025, it doesn't automatically mean he's ready to take on the role of team leader. There's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding the second seat, and as the team moves forward, decisions will need to be made. The big question is whether Lawrence Stroll will be willing to make a difficult call, remove his own son from the team, and replace him with a 4-time world champion. The opportunity to have 2 multi-time world champions driving for the same team could be a game-changer. But there's an emotional element at play too. Lawrence's entry into the sport was heavily influenced by Lance, and the thought of letting him go might be hard to accept. But if the goal is to build a championship-winning team, tough choices might be required. As Aston Martin continues to evolve, the question remains: will Lawrence Stroll be ready to make the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of the team's future? Replacing his son with a 4-time world champion like Max Verstappen could set the team up for future success, but it comes with heavy emotional and business implications. Some believe Max's move to Aston Martin is inevitable, just a matter of time. Juan Pablo Montoya, for one, is convinced that Aston Martin is the logical choice for Max if Red Bull struggles. With Adrian Newey and Honda behind him, it would be hard to resist. However, if Red Bull and Verstappen stay strong together, Honda's backup plan is clear. They will focus on Yuki Tsunoda. But it's clear that Honda's priority is winning, and if they have a shot at securing Verstappen, they won't hesitate to make their move. Ultimately, it all boils down to whether Lawrence Stroll can accept that his son may not have what it takes to lead Aston Martin to the top. The future is uncertain, but one thing's for sure: Aston Martin's driver lineup could soon look very different.